Hello, welcome back. Coquito de Puerto Rico, but this one is going to be different to my previous coquitos because this one is for people struggling with sugar. So I have designed this one to help people to enjoy the coquito while managing the sugar. I'm not a doctor, so if you are diabetic or somebody that have medical issues with sugar, I encourage you to research the ingredients the way I researched them. I would call it diabetic friendly, but you still have to do that research. And this turned out to be pretty good actually, very low sugar, delicious. And I hope that helps some people. But once again, take a look at the ingredients once I start cooking the thing or preparing the thing. And that way you know if it's good for you or not. So, if you like the content of the video or the content of my channel, feel free and share. Hit the like button. Write a comment, whether it's positive or negative, I'm fine. Either way, share your ideas with me. I will learn something too. So, go nowhere. Let's have some fun. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's create. So, if you have any glucose issues or sugar issues that hinder you from enjoying the delicious coquito, there are two things that you must consider. So the first thing, you have to get rid of the sweetened condensed milk. You cannot use this thing. And here's why. A serving of sweetened condensed milk has 22 grams of sugar per serving. And a serving is literally 2 tablespoons. So just imagine what a can of this would do, how much sugar we add. Especially when a can consists of 10 servings. So 10 servings, 22 grams of sugar, it's about 200 and something grams if my math is correct. So this has to go. The second thing comes down to the cream of coconut. So the cream of coconut, like for example, Coco Lopez or Goya or whatever, at least the Coco Lopez one has 18 grams of sugar per serving, and that's 11 servings in a can, a regular size can of Coco Lopez. A serving is 2 tablespoons. So you also have a lot of sugar in the cream of coconut. Now, with the cream of coconut, you can actually replace it and make your own cream of coconut. And that's the portion I'm going to show you how to do. Once again, get rid of the, sweetened condensed milk and start working on replacing the cream of coconut. How do you replace the cream of coconut, the high sugar stuff? You're going to only need a couple ingredients, actually 3. You're going to need coconut milk, and you're going to need a sugar replacement. And I'm going to go with the erythritol because it's a plant-based sugar alternative. It actually tastes a little bit of sugar. And if you suffer diabetes or something like that, you might want to check it out. Do your little research to see how diabetic-friendly it is. And based on what I have read, it appears to be diabetic-friendly. But don't take my word for it. Just take a look. And this is how it looks. See the texture? This is how it looks. Now, when it comes to the coconut milk, I got 3 options here. I happen to have these 3 different brands. I'm not recommending any. And, all three are low in sugar, between 2 grams to less than a gram per serving. But I'm going to go with this one today because the fact that this one, when you look at the ingredients, it only consists of water and coconut extract, 35%. Well, this one has other preservative, that I had to consider. And this other one, although it has a little bit less sugar, also has some preservative, but it doesn't matter. I could use either. But I'm going to go with this one. Let's keep it more natural. So what you're going to need is a can of coconut milk, 14 ounces, and about 1 3/4 or 1.5 or 1 3/4 of the sugar substitute. Now, if you were using real sugar, that would be the amount too. Yes, I know, it's a lot. And that gives you an idea how much sugar the grain of coconut has. So when you open the can, you must see something a little bit solid. Don't worry, don't be scared. Just shake it a little bit so it liquefies a little bit. So get a pot, turn the heat on. I had it high, then I reduced it high to get this warm, but now I have it toward the low, a couple notches above low. So you add the coconut milk, all you 14 ounces. Shake it up a little bit. And then you add your sugar or your sugar replacement. I'm telling you, it's a lot. And remember to add a pinch of salt, just a little bit. And you let it go. You let it cook until the sugar somewhat dissolves. Bingo. So it took a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, probably less. It's ready. Turn this off. Let me transfer it to a container. Get things ready. Here's the texture. I'm going to put it aside, let it cool down for a little bit longer. And you could have used stevia too, to keep it glucose friendly, like diabetic friendly. Assuming you believe stevia is diabetic friendly, you have to do your research. Once again, I use this one, a plant-based sugar alternative. But you know what? If you would want to do your homemade cream of coconut, you could have used just coconut milk and sugar and done the same steps. It would have saved you the preservative stuff that you find in other products. So this is what you're going to need. You're going to need about a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon powder, about half, maybe a quarter of teaspoon of nutmeg. This is how you spell it, nutmeg, ground nutmeg. Clearly, you're going to need some rum. I'm going to use Palo Viejo. Make sure you use the clear type of rum. Could be Don Q Cristal. If you cannot find those two Puerto Rican rums, you can go with the Bacardi. And this is how the rum it looks. And I'm going to use a cup. You can use 3/4 if you want to keep it a little bit low in the alcohol. 14 ounces of coconut milk. You already know what I picked this one because I have less preservative, but you can use any other brand. And of course, I have my cream of coconut that I prepared earlier. And you saw how I did this. I'm going to use the entire thing I prepared. And I have my tea. And this is going to be about 2/3 of a cup. For my traditional coquito, I typically do about half a cup, or maybe less. This one is 2/3 because I'm trying to compensate for the the sweetened condensed milk that I took out. So I had to compensate for the flavor. So this is how you prepare the tea. The tea tends to be optional, but when you're doing this type of coquito, which you're reducing considerably the sugar, you should be using the tea. So it's not optional here. So I have some star anise. See, and I have about maybe 6 or 7. I have about 4 or 5 cinnamon sticks. See, I'm increasing the amount of cinnamon that I typically use. I'm going to have some ginger root, which I'm going to peel and I'm going to cut in wedges. I'm going to have a handful of wedges. And the reason I would cut it that way in wedges is because I want the extract of the root to be exposed. I have several cloves, maybe about 10 or 15. You can use 10, 15, doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to put in this little container, not container, but what I call pilon. And I'm just going to break it down a little bit, not a lot. And by doing that, I'm getting the aroma out. And I have some water. Traditionally, I have a cup of water for the regular coquito. This one is going to be 1 cup and 1/4 of water because by taking some ingredients like the condensed milk out, I'm adding a little bit more of the water to compensate. Very simple. High heat, water, cinnamon sticks, clove or clavos, like we say in Puerto Rico, star anise, ginger. Let it go for 5 minutes. So let me turn this off. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this strainer so the solids stay out of the container, and I'm going to transfer the liquid to another container. So it went down due to the boiling process to 2/3 of a cup, which still higher by about maybe 1/4 than the amount I traditionally use for coquito. But because it's hot, what you're going to do, you're going to let it cool down. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to accelerate the cool down process before you start preparing your coquito. This is very critical. You don't want it hot. So let's start. Let's start with the coconut milk. Let me follow with the homemade cream of coconut. See how beautiful? I'm going to add my tea. My cinnamon powder. The nutmeg. The vanilla extract. And I'm going to start blending this first before I add the alcohol. Things a little bit mixed. Let me add some alcohol. This is a cup of Palo Viejo. Oh, it smells good. And mix it up again. And now you're going to use a funnel to transfer things to a bottle. I'm going to be honest with you, full disclosure, I put another quarter of rum to my thing and mix it again because I wanted to add a little bit more alcohol. You start transferring. You're going to see a little bit foam on the top. You can neutralize that if you want to use kind of a fork, you know, to keep things from, you put a fork here when you start moving so the foam stay up. Keep going. And because of the way that you design this coquito, you notice it's going to be slightly darker, which is the way I like it. That cinnamon taste, coconut taste. Look how beautiful this looks. Let me show it. Now what you do is you close it. And I left enough space here so I can shake it. So you close it and then if I can close it here. So you close it and you put it in the refrigerator. That's simple. Here it is. See?